Today I F up by losing a tampon inside of myself. Today I F up by losing a tampon after leaving it in too long. Just to start off, I know this happens to a lot of people, and it's certainly not the first or last post you'll be reading about it. I still feel really stupid for how this whole thing went down. In full disclosure, I'm sadly still trying to figure this out. So I got my period a few days ago, and I've been using a tampon with a pad to collect all the blood. I went out early in the day, and I knew I would need to change my tampon at some point, so when I had a chance to go to the bathroom, I made the change. I distinctly remember inserting a supersized tampon and changing the pad, so there's no doubt about there being one. This happened at around 5:30 p.m. I drove about an hour to get home and made a stop at the store, so I got home around 7:30. I had taken some Advil in between, and the tampon was doing its job, so I went on with my night, unaffected by my period, basically forgetting I had it. I sat down and had dinner with some wine. I smoked a bit, watched a movie, rubbed one out, and passed out in bed. I woke up around 2 a.m. with the urge to pee, and when I got to the toilet, I realized that my tampon string was missing. I'm a naturally anxious person, so I immediately began to panic. I don't want to get too graphic, but after fishing around in there, it became clear to me that it wasn't within reach and I would have to A. Go to urgent care, B. Succumb to the symptoms of toxic shock syndrome. Neither of these are realistic options because I currently don't have health insurance and can't afford the $120 to $400 it would cost to be seen, let alone a trip to the ER. I spent the afternoon calling different urgent care offices trying to someone who could help me without having to pay so much. The ER said they would help me, but I would be there at least 3 hours and would get a bill in the mail, which I already know I can't afford. I've been trying to keep myself calm, but it's getting harder with each hour that's passed. My mom says that eventually I'll be able to take it out on my own once my cycle is closer to being finished, but I can't help but to think the worst, since I've had no luck yet. I've been cycling through crying fits and trips to the bathroom, neither resulting in the tampon being found. I'm currently typing this as I fight off another anxiety attack that will send me to bed sobbing into my sheets. TLDR, I fell asleep with a tampon in, and by the time I woke up, I couldn't find the string to take it out. I spent most of today trying to find it, and still haven't had any luck. Currently trying not to freak out, but I'm open to words of advice.
Today I F up by drinking mushroom coffee before a college trip. So I recently got back to school in order to help with orientation for the new students. The school likes us to go on a team-building trip before we start our training. I'm being purposely vague about school and location of trip because I know many people on here from said school. Anyways, I am a lover of mushroom coffee. I can't have normal coffee due to a neurological condition, and it tastes fairly similar and isn't grainy. It also was advertised to help with gut health. Before I tried the product, I didn't know what that meant. But I was quick to find out in the first few weeks of my body getting used to it. About 5 minutes about I finished an 8-ounce cup of it with a portion of the powder. I would have the devil's lava pouring out of my rear. Whenever I eat mushrooms in general, it did this to me, but never to this degree. I got used to it eventually and would factor that time into my morning routine. Even though it might sound inconvenient, it is really nice to have your movements come like clockwork, especially when a lot of my classes are labs and it's really annoying to stop to use the toilet. This brings us to today. I had been slacking on my mushroom coffee intake over school break and wanted to get back on track for school. My dumbass did not consider its laxative effects the morning of the field trip. There are about 45 of us on a coach bus and we realize someone is missing. We wind up waiting 40 minutes for this girl to wake up and get on the bus. Then I was as annoyed as everyone else about having to wait for so long because now we would hit rush hour and only have 3 hours actually doing stuff at the trip. It was as I was coming to this realization I knew I fucked up. I'm feeling that familiar gurgle and discomfort, but I try to lock in reading my book. There was no way in hell I was destroying the bus bathroom, let alone 15 minutes into the drive. As the drive persisted, I got more and more restless. Shifting my legs, trying to stop the enviable, playing on my phone, listening to, looking out the window, chatting with people nearby, anything to take my mind off of the carnage brewing in my guts. I am regularly checking Google Maps to see how long it's going to be. I am fighting a battle I'm not sure I will win when finally we get to our destination. Riding this turd like a cowboy, I am now clenching cheeks, getting off the bus, grabbing my lunch, and half race walking half waddling to get out tickets scanned. I tell my friends I'll meet up with them in a bit and am frantically looking for a bathroom. It is as I step foot in the threshold of the bathroom, a slight step up, that a small landing strip of mud paints my pants. I am pleading with people to let me go ahead of them in line. Of course, the women's bathroom always has a line. I get in the stall to let out the shit that's been brewing for the whole 2 hours and 40 minutes we were in the bus and see the damage. At this point, I want to cry, but then I remember on my bag of period products I have an extra pair of underwear. Profusely thanking my mom that suggested the idea of backup undies, I shamefully threw the old pair out, used my emergency wet wipes also in said bag, and left the crime scene like nothing ever happened. TLDR, I drank mushroom coffee before a nearly 3-hour bus ride without having had it in a while. Mushroom coffee has a laxative effect for some people if you don't have a tolerance to it. I was not able to hold it and shit myself in the doorway of the bathroom to our destination. Today I F up by doing the laundry, I guess? Well, this morning was fun. Last night at around 11 p.m. I 20 m. needed to do my laundry. I was out of clean clothes and had work the next day. So I did what I needed to do. There was some stuff in the washer and dryer. The stuff in the dryer, I could not tell whose in my family it was. It had multiple articles of clothing belonging to other people in it. And the stuff in the washer I could tell was my mom's. I emptied the contents of the dryer and put them in front of where we store the cleaned clothes. We didn't have time to sort them, so it's just kind of pile RN. And then moved the stuff in the washer elsewhere. My mom does her laundry separately from the rest of the laundry, so I didn't want to mess with whatever settings she uses on the dryer for her stuff. I put it all back in the washer after I was done. There was some stuff on top of the washer that was put on top of the dryer and left there after I was done. I do my laundry, take a shower, and go to sleep. I get woken up by a phone call. It's my mom. She calls me saying everything in the laundry room is thrown everywhere and that she can't find her socks. She then says she is going to buy more, and then proceeds to scream at me through the phone for another 2 minutes, so loud that I can hear it through the walls. Apparently she was also screaming at my dad all morning because of this. All I hear outside my room are slamming door, slammed harder than I've ever heard before, and I'm a floor below them. Whenever I do my laundry, I tend to do the same and put all my things in one place, and then I go and sort them later / next day depending on when I do my laundry. Almost always when I go back, all my stuff is thrown across the laundry room, and I have to spend a half hour finding it all. I know that someone else in this house is doing it without care. I'm afraid to leave my room, and I have to in an hour to go to work. My mom gets like this sometimes, and it's terrifying to watch and be around. I don't want that. I was considering trying to sneak out my window, but my shoes are on the first floor, and so is my mom. I don't know why I can't stop crying. I don't know how long this is gonna last. TLDR. I did laundry and now I'm afraid to leave my house. Today I F up by accidentally seeing my neighbor naked. So, I recently moved into a new neighborhood, and I've been trying to be that friendly, helpful neighbor. You know, the one who offers to bring in the post or roll the bins back up the driveway. Well, yesterday, I decided to do just that for my neighbor, Sarah, who had left her bins out even though it wasn't bin day. Being the eager new guy, I thought it would be a nice gesture to bring the bins back up to her house. So, I walk over, grab the bins, and start rolling them up her driveway. When I get closer, I notice her front door is slightly open. Thinking I should let her know, I called out, "Hey Sarah, your door's open." No response. So, like the nosy idiot I am, I took a few steps closer to see if everything was all right, and that's when I saw her, Sarah, walking down her hallway, completely naked, clearly having just stepped out of the shower. We locked eyes, and both of us froze. I'm standing there like an idiot holding her bin while she's standing there like, well, not exactly how you'd want your new neighbor to see you. Instead of just walking away, I panicked and blurted out, "Sorry, I was just helping with the bins." She screamed. I panicked even more, and in my desperation to escape the situation, I managed to trip over her bin, sending it and myself sprawling across her driveway. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion, except the car was me, and I was crashing into my own dignity. Somehow, I managed to scramble to my feet and do the fastest speed walk back to my house ever recorded. I didn't dare look back, but I'm pretty sure I heard her door slam behind me. I spent the rest of the day avoiding my windows like the plague, too embarrassed to even peek outside in case I accidentally made eye contact with her again. I don't think I'll be offering to help with the bins anymore. TLDR. Tried to be a friendly new neighbor by bringing in my neighbor's bins. Accidentally saw her naked through her open door. Then speed walked back home after tripping over her bin in my panic. Safe to say I'll be laying low for a while.
Thank you so much for watching the video. For more video like this, please subscribe.